Hello, this is Greg Pfeffer, and I'm the field agronomist here in southeast Missouri. And today I want to talk to you about white mold control in winter canola. Winter canola is a new crop for us here. We're excited about the program, but there are some things that we learn every year, especially when it comes to disease control. White mold is probably our largest issue when it comes to growing winter canola here as far as disease is concerned. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about the timing of application, kind of the mindset that we want to have too, and then also what the mold actually looks like, and then fungicides that we can use for control. So first off, when it comes to timing, we have two different timings when it comes to white mold control. The first of which is that when we're coming out of winter dormancy there at spring green up, which is typically late February here, that is our first timing. And we would try to make an application then because we want to try to capture any of those winter infestations that might occur from planting. And then also the second application timing that we want to use is at about that 25% flowering stage. That's another application that we can make to try to control white mold. Maybe we missed it on the first application, but sequential applications really help us when it comes to control. So after that, we want to think about the mindset. So when it comes to scouting for white mold, a lot of times that if I'm finding it, I want to go ahead and make applications because I want to have a preventative mindset when it comes to control. Once we get infestations that are pretty high, it becomes more and more difficult to control the white mold in the crop. So from that standpoint, I recommend 2 applications as a standard here, practice. We want to go with that spring green up application, and then we want to follow that at the 25% flowering stage. Now, when it comes to fungicide choices, we have some choices when it comes to those that are most effective, though. We like those that have multiple modes of action, and specifically those that have a group 3, a group 7, and then a group 11 in there. So a 3-way mix is probably going to offer us the best option for control. And the group 7 is where we're getting a lot of firepower when it comes to control for white mold. So that's a pretty important piece to that mix. Sometimes we can find it as a premix. Other times we might be able to get a product that has the group 3 and 11 and then also take mix the group 7 in there as well. So that is good options to use. I like if we're experiencing conditions that are conducive to white mold, I like having both of those applications to use that 3-way mix. Now, sometimes if we don't see a whole lot in that first timing, that green up stage, we might be able to use just a group 3 and a group 11. That mix might work out well for us. Here in Missouri, we have a product called Viatude from Corteva, and that works really well. It's a group 3 and a group 11 mix that we can utilize as spring green up. After that, though, I do recommend to go with that 3-way mix that we talked about. So I want to show you what it looks like if we have white mold infestations here in the latter part of flowering. If you look at the stalk down towards the soil line, you'll see where underneath some of these old leaves, white mold has infested these plants. You can see where the stem has started to decay, and you'll also see some plants that show the sclerotia that is pretty distinctive of the white mold name. And our infestation levels in this field are super high, but our concern is that some of these plants will die prematurely, and we might have an issue when it comes to yield. But it looks like levels won't be bad enough in this field to cause us any major issues. But this is what we can end up with if we don't have adequate fungicide control. So to summarize, we have 2 application timings, spring green up and then also 25% flower. We want to utilize a preventative mindset when it comes to scouting for white mold. And we also want to use fungicides that have multiple modes of action. Group 3, Group 7, and Group 11 gives us the best opportunity for control. You do these things, and that will give you the best opportunity to control white mold in winter canola.
That concludes this Pioneer Agronomy video podcast. Visit our page on pioneer.com and follow us on Twitter and Facebook for more agronomy insights.